Hello and welcome to another day of the Global Littlewargame League 2024. We're finally at the semifinals, and I hope you're excited as I am for these upcoming matches. First off, here's a look at the map pool. It is as it has always been, the ranked map pool with the addition of Thieves' Isle. And today I'll be bringing you a match from the Alpha League. It's going to be Mr. WeirdRat versus Highdra. So WeirdRat probably the top dog in this league, but Highdra has been absolutely tearing it up. He's been playing extremely well. Obviously his mechanics from other games coming clutch into this, and he's defeated some important names such as Mr. Winter. He's also, I'm trying to think who else he defeated, but can't remember off the top of my head, but we'll jump straight into it. Once again, I do not have the maps bans, but that's okay. We're just going to hit straight into it. The first map is going to be on Sylvan Charm. Let me just reset the score here because I forgot to reset it. There we go. And yeah, spawning in the top left-hand side of the map, it is going to be the peculiar rodent, WeirdRat. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map with a very strong run so far, it's Highdra. All right, so let's talk a little bit about this map. WeirdRat also going to go for a 7 house, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so that is a very, very safe, quote-unquote, and aggressive build. It's safe in the fact that you're probably not going to lose to anything straight up in the early game. And also, you are obviously sacrificing a little bit of economy for that. But also, if your opponent is going to go for something greedy, then you have the opportunity to punish it as with whatever early unit you have. And it looks like it's probably going to go for a Rax here. Yeah, there we go. Let's talk a little bit about Sylvan Charm. Sylvan Charm, it's unique in the fact that you have this back natural that you can take for free, which is why oftentimes players will attempt to get their front natural as their initial natural base to take, because the back base is free. You can pretend to take it, or like your opponent doesn't really know, right? So the idea is you can either pretend to take it, you can also pretend to just deny scouting and do a 2-base all-in, right? So your opponent doesn't have the opportunity to scout it as well. However, on this map, you can also flash across the gap here with raiders. So you can do it from here to here. You can do it from here to here. You can do it from here to here. Yeah, so that is something that I'm sure WeirdRat would know. Highdra probably knows. I believe I mentioned it to him when he was on my team back in Pro League. So I believe he should know, but that was a while ago. Perhaps he has forgotten. We'll have to find out. WeirdRat going to do a little bit of a scouty scout around his base. Going to make sure nothing crazy is happening. I feel like this is a little bit unnecessary, to be honest, especially because he did go for that earlier Rax. He went for that 7 house into Rax. Unless he's going to do a proxy, which in that case it makes sense. But yeah, the idea is I feel like this is a little bit unnecessary because you already have that added safety of that earlier raider, of the earlier racks. But yeah, that's beside the point. Highdra also going to do a little bit of scouting on his side of the map, and we'll see how the game evolves from here. So on this Sylvan Charm, I would say it's a pretty interesting map because there's some merit to going beast, because once you take your 4th base, you're either going to take your 4th base here, which is at the front. This is generally what happens, but you can also take your 5th base in the corners of the map, and it's going to be really hard for your opponent to actually get across the map and destroy your bases one after the other, because you can attack one base, and then to get to the other corner base, it's a long walk away. You can also set up surrounds pretty easily with this sort of middle ground here coming in from different sides. I feel like a lot of people do go for mech. Okay, so Highdra is going to be a little bit scared with that first raider because it was a little bit faster than he would normally see, which is why he is going to go for this tower. I don't hate it. I do think that this tower could be placed a little bit better, though. This is very to the front, but you can kind of disregard it to the back as well. And eventually when Highdra does get his base, which I assume he will be getting like here, he will probably want that tower to be on the inside. So I would have preferred that tower to be maybe here-ish. He's going to see the 2... double flash forward by WeirdRat. A little bit of a miss micro there. Only gets 1 shot off of those. Is eventually going to rectify that mistake and just get it. But a little bit of a missed flash for WeirdRat, but that's okay. He is going to get the advantage here with the double flash. the two raiders. Yeah, and I was saying that you can probably put the tower a little bit far, yeah, back here. So like right here would be very nice. It would cover the mineral line very well. It would also deny some sort of scouting. So that's where I would have preferred. And because Highdra felt the need that you had to go for the watchtower, does mean that WeirdRat is going to be going for this castle a little bit earlier than Highdra, despite the poor economic start, or I guess the calculated risk that he took by sacrificing a little bit of that economy. Highdra is going to go for a workshop. Is going to probably look to do a little bit of, oh, that's a mistake out of WeirdRat, messing up the flash. He's going to try again, it looks like. Yeah, so Highdra is going to go for that drop. Yep, WeirdRat does get it this time. And this is going to be a very important scout for WeirdRat. Is going to check that there is no pocket expansion. WeirdRat also going to go for a quick third base at the same time. This is how I think I would probably play this, especially if you know that you got an early lead with that, and you also forced out a tower, so I think this is exactly the sort of play that WeirdRat should be going for. Is going to see this as well. This is a very nice scout. Is going to see the advanced workshop as well as the regular workshop. Is going to flash out as well. Some marvelous play out of WeirdRat. Very nice, very nice. I guess something that could come back to bite Highdra is that he might be able to mess up the rallies, or he might. So let's say if he rallies these two buildings like here-ish or something, then there's a potential that their units would spawn within this little nook and be forever trapped. Well, at least until there is an airship. But yeah, WeirdRat does know that this is going to be a catapult drop on the way. Is going to go for a workshop of his own, as well as the advanced workshop. This advanced workshop will probably be in time. It will definitely be in time for to defend against this. So I actually wouldn't mind Highdra just actually canceling this. This has been his modus operandi for just what he's been doing in the series so far. He's gotten some great success with the catapults, but against a player such as WeirdRat, he's going to be able to look to do more damage, but it's going to be really tough. Definitely not easy to get some of these top players in attention, right? So Highdra is also a little bit supply block. That's definitely a mistake. This house is a little bit late, so he's not going to have that crisp timing that he wants with the workshop here. And once again, yeah, just this tower placement could have been a little bit better to deal with these raiders, for example. Just a little tidbit of information. I mean, even these archers could have been positioned a little bit better, I feel like, from Highdra. Yeah, so we are going to go into a situation where Highdra needs to do damage with this catapult drop. He's behind in economy, he's down a base, and this is not like a small amount of time. This is a pretty large amount of time that he's been down a base. So that's something that he does need to get a little bit of an advantage back with this drop. But like I said, a little bit of supply block is going to be a little bit delayed, which means this drop is going to be even more so delayed. And there's that second catapult. He's going to pick that up and go across the map. How prepared is WeirdRat? Was he supply blocked as well? Because this ballista seems way later than it really should be. I feel like I kind of missed it, but it does seem like this ballista should be out by now, especially after that delay with supply block on Hydra's side. So if I had to guess, I feel like WeirdRat was also supply block, so definitely a mistake. It's not going to have too much. It has a single archer here, a single archer here, so he is able to see this airship with the raiders, which is very, very nice. It's going to be valuable information. WeirdRat also going to transition into a mech style as well from this point. And I think mech is actually pretty good on this map as well, because there are a lot of places that you can actually just completely wall off. Like you can wall off this with 2 buildings. When you're doing a push, you can also wall it off pretty easily. So I would say this is a pretty good map for mech. So far, this drop has not been doing the damage that it needs to do. It's going to survive with 25 HP, but that does mean he's going to lose the catapult, it looks like. And I do like that WeirdRat does have this raider just keeping an eye on this. Highdra could have tried to do a little bit more damage onto those workers, but unfortunately does not get it off. And yeah, so this drop did not do what it needed to do, and Hydra's going to be severely behind from this point. yeah, he's going to look to take a third base and just move on from there and try to just play a macro game from here. But I don't think that's going to be enough. If you look at the income, you can see the total income is like almost 1,000 off, which is insane for this stage of the game. And that's on top of that poor economic stock that WeirdRat had in the early game as well. So a big difference here. We have this Raider still keeping tabs on this army. I do like that he kind of walled this backside off just to prevent that Raider. Does double flash out, very nice. Just to prevent that Raider from actually doing a little bit more harassment. As you recall, he did a little bit of harassment in the early game, taking down a Raider or two, or a worker or two, because the watchtower was also misplaced. We have a fourth base on the way, which is approximately the same timing as that third base of Highdra, so we're clearly in a very nice position. I do like that he has these raiders on this side of the map where it's likely that the drop is going to be, or the cata drop. However, this is not the case. Highdra is going to push straight up across the map with a sizable archer force, as well as this catapult drop. So this is going to be a little bit difficult for WeirdRat to defend, especially if he doesn't have that micro ability with the airship. So he does need to be careful. Here's that airship that's coming in right now. We have a ballista spawning at the same time. These archers aren't doing enough, I think. They're a little bit discoordinated with this catapult drop at the same time. So obviously not what you want. This airship is going to go down. Very nice snipe out of WeirdRat there, and I think that means this fight is going to be, this push is going to be pushed back easily. Yep, there we go. Highdra is going to look to recoup. And actually, no, he's going to try to come in again, but that's going to be really difficult with the number of catapults that WeirdRat already has. Yes, he doesn't have any of that front army that Highdra has, but the front army of Highdra is mostly archers, and those are very, very squishy. We do have a couple more workshops coming in on the way for WeirdRat. It's going to go up to a total of 4. And this is some very nice dodge micro out of Highdra so far with this archer, but is going to be able to is going to stop doing that, and is not going to be in a great spot. Yeah, it looks like Highdra is going to be forced to just get out of there, and this is not what you want if you're a Highdra. This push needed to do some damage, particularly because this is the 4th base, whereas Highdra just established the 3rd base. His choice, where did that Mages Guild go? Because I saw that Mages Guild, and it looks like it has been cancelled. I saw on the production tab, but it looks like he's going to go for an armory instead, and I don't think that's a great choice. The only real upgrade that you can get with that armory is going to be that archer range, and that's not going to be worth it, in my opinion. Yes, it helps against the catapults, but I don't think that's just going to be quite enough. Here's a spread out of Highdra. He's going to look to come in, but that's going to be really tough. A little bit of friendly fire there out of WeirdRat. We'll see how this goes. WeirdRat forced to get out of that high ground. He's also building 3 mills at a time. This is a classic WeirdRat move where he goes for those gyros just for the air control, just for that map control, and this is something that I feel like a lot of players should need to look to do. These 2 catapults of Highdra attacking a house instead of the army, which is obviously not ideal, and this is an excellent hold for WeirdRat. Look at the supply. Highdra is severely behind, and he doesn't have like that mage tech that he was wanting. Here's that what's it called, that rally point and the misplaced building that I was talking about in that early game. These 2 catapults being stuck, how much is that going to come into effect? I mean, this is pretty big. This is 2 catapults, which is very, very solid. It's a sizable amount of damage of supply. I wonder if Highdra will eventually be able to see this. WeirdRat is saying, okay, I defended all your pushes very well. I'm going to go for a cata drop of my own, and we'll have to find out how much damage this is also going to be able to do. We have defense upgrades. I would rather prefer WeirdRat go for attack upgrades. Generally, you only want to go for defense if they're going pure racks or pure beast. Yeah, I don't think that's ideal. I would much rather prefer that plus attack. We have this catapult drop doing a significant amount of damage. Highdra a little bit slow to react. He's going to lose a handful of workers, and when you're already behind a base, it's not what you want to be doing. We have a little bit of a forest in the middle of the map as well. This is not actually that sizable. He also doesn't have that anti-air for these gyros because he hasn't been able to scout them. We have triple gyros on the way, just continual gyro production at the same time. Highdra is going for this 4th base, but yes, of course, it is very delayed. A little more. This Cata Drop coming right back in, going to try to do a little bit more damage. 9 kills on that one. This Cata Drop has been doing much more damage than the early game Cata Drops of Highdra, and this is looking very dire for Highdra. I do love this house, by the way, just for that added vision. I think he put it, he pulled it with this airship just to get a little bit of that. What's it called? That repair. We do have a little bit of a soldier drop into this base. Good hold position with the workers, as well as these gyros coming in will absolutely clear this up. And I think this just might be a little bit too much for WeirdRat. He's going to lose that airship as well. Yeah, a little bit too much of WeirdRat here. I think Highdra is not going to be able to force the issue here. Taking another base. GG is called. Highdra... yeah, Highdra unfortunately did not do the damage that he wanted with his base. He also got Cata dropped to death in the end game. Yeah, unfortunately for Highdra, WeirdRat was just on another level. Let's go on into game number 2. Dun, 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 dun. Game number 2 is going to be on Ravaged. And spawning in the top left-hand side of Ravaged. Up 1-0. It's WeirdRats. It's good against Rex. Be sure. I don't know what they're talking about, but okay. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map. It's Highdra. The Cata Drop that worked so well against some other opponents did not work against WeirdRat. And he's going to be... Yeah, he's going to go... onto a little bit of a little bit of a back to the drawing board, I guess. Perhaps try to get a little bit of new strategies, or I don't know. We'll have to find out. Maybe he goes for a straight up macro game. We'll find out. One's mechanism is very hard to break. A little bit of talking about last game, it seems like. Once again, we're going to go for an earlier house. This is, I believe, an 8 house. Or as a 9 house out of Highdra. So it's not quite as early as that 7 house that he was doing the previous game on Sylvan Charm, but it still is very early. It's still kind of, this is the sort of thing that you kind of generally want to do if you're a little bit afraid of some sort of early cheese, or you want to just keep the tempo on your side. WeirdRat is going to go throw down a den. He's going to try to play maybe a 2 den if I had to guess. 1 den is generally not considered a very strong build in the current meta. Yeah, he's going to go for a 2nd den, it looks like. And yeah, it's going to be a 2 den versus a Rax expand, and we're going to see how well Hydra's early game Raider micro is. Yeah, we'll have to find out. So the 2 den is actually, I feel like, with perfect micro. I think just Raider absolutely just demolishes it. You don't get enough wolves, I feel like, to actually really threaten anything. But, you know, you do have to be on top of your micro as the Rax player. And Highdra, obviously, being one of a very experienced, a very skilled RTS player, should have a very good understanding of how to micro this. Is going to go for a Raider, and also is going to scout around. I don't mind this scout at all. I think it's very nice. I think there are a lot of people who either A, scout every single game, or B, never scout. And I think both of those are kind of not ideal. I think generally you want to do like a bit of a mixture, right? You want to mix things up. If you scout, if you scout every game, yes, you're going to be safe. Most players won't cheese you, but you know, if like occasionally, maybe once in a while, maybe like 20% of the time you don't scout, you're going to get a little bit of that advantage while also being in the image of, oh, I'm a very safe player, you know, that sort of thing. We have this first wolf going to go across the map. He's going to scout this Raider. Yep. As Highdra, you do want to flash to get the first hit. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. And I think after that first hit, you can just go across the map. Yeah, there we go. You want to see if there's additional wolves on the way. WeirdRat being very, very cute here. Going to hide that 3rd wolf. Oh, maybe he barely got a glimpse of it. I don't think he did. Now he knows. Now he knows it's a 2 den. And what is Highdra? How is Hydra's defense going to look like? Is he going to actually still go for the castle, which is something that I generally like to do? Yep, there we go. He's going to rely on these 2 raiders as well as a worker pull if needed. I think so far this is going to be a very nice hold. Looks like WeirdRat also is not going to go for a third house. Is just going to go for a castle after this. So it's not going to be like the most dedicated. A little bit of a surround. Highdra can actually just come in and attack before moving out, but he's just going to back out immediately. And WeirdRat is going to look to take that natural base. It's going to be a little bit delayed, but not the hugest issue. Highdra is also going to throw down a tower. I feel like this is a little bit unnecessary. Maybe if you had gone for a third raider, I feel like it would have been totally fine. A little bit slow on that worker pull as well to continue building that castle. I think this is a little bit of an overreaction from Highdra here. But maybe it might be necessary, or maybe he deems that is a little bit necessary. I think because you don't really need a tower as long as you pull the workers. But I guess in this case, he hasn't been able to pull the workers as he's choosing to, I guess, get the tower in lieu of the workers. So a little bit of a mistake in my opinion, but it's not the end of the world. Oh, yeah, losing that, however, is definitely a very big mistake. If you're Highdra, you want to target down the weakened wolves. Unfortunately, does not get that off. And WeirdRat is going to go for that natural base. It's going to be a little bit faster than Highdra, it looks like, in this case. And it didn't really need to be. So definitely a little bit of a botched defense near the end there for Highdra against this student. And I also do think that this watchtower is not in range of this house. So that does mean that these wolves are going to be able to go and just nibble on this house. Very, very nice. One thing to note is that WeirdRat is using the weakened wolves on this house, which is a very nice idea. Why is that the case? Something to note is that wolves do have a little bit of regeneration. They already have that innate regeneration, but they also have a little bit of lifesteal, excuse me. So that does mean that if you attack something with weakened wolves, they are going to regenerate that health a little bit faster. I believe it's something like it regenerates 1 health per 100 damage it does, which is a very small amount, but it still is something. Yeah, that is something to know. We're also going to go for a third base at the same time. Very, very nice. Highdra looking to go for a cata drop. Just like last game. Hopefully he's going to be looking to do a little bit more than last game, or at least find a little bit more damage than the previous game. Highdra also was sent a little bit too many workers there to repair, so that is definitely a mistake. Almost losing this. Does need to flash it away, and indeed he does. And yeah, I guess a little bit of a missed building placement of this watchtower. He wouldn't have needed to really defend against this in this way had he had placed his watchtower in a better location. So that's definitely a bit of a mistake. He's pre-pulling these workers. I think this is a good time to do it because there's a potential of him just breaking through. So he wants to hold position those workers to prevent him from coming in and getting the scout off. And I do like that. But in that early case, it wasn't really necessary. Doesn't want to flash those away yet. There we go. And yeah, so these wolves have done enough damage. They've done all that they need to do, you know, keeping your opponent on the other side. He's only lost 2 of them. This is just an excellent beast play out of WeirdRat. Sometimes I slam on WeirdRat for not being as experienced in beast, but in this game he's been playing very, very well. He's going to go for a bird at the same time to get a little bit of that scouting information. One thing I would like to see from WeirdRat is just spreading of the wolves a little bit, just to check that third base, just to check for any sort of crazy stuff. Is going to take a 4th base. This is very greedy for sure. No additional wolf production after those initial, I want to say, what, 12 wolves, something like that. And he's just been playing more or less perfectly in this game, I'd say. Very, very nice. I would say the only little thing I might disagree with is this early 4th base timing, especially if you know that your opponent is still on 2 bases. That's definitely risky. He's going to get the scout off on this cata drop, so he knows exactly what's up. This is an excellent bird out of WeirdRat. Going to scout this. He's also going to scout the timing on it, and you can honestly right-click this bird onto the airship if you want, just to, you know, keep an eye on where it's going to come from. Yes, the bird is a little bit slower, which is very, very annoying. Also, you can't just right-click it because it'll go to the place and it'll stay. You have to, like, constantly micro it. Just a heads up. Nice flash over here out of Highdra, taking down a wolf for free, but WeirdRat in return does get an archer, so a little bit sloppy for sure. This Advanced Workshop is not quite ready, but I don't think that's going to be like a huge issue, just because WeirdRat is aware of this. He's going to be aware of a catadrop on the way. He's going to be aware of anything crazy he's going to be aware of this, so he's going to be mentally prepared. So we do have a tower in the main base as well. Quick pull out of WeirdRat, and looks like this is not going to do enough damage at all. You need to target down that airship with the tower, or the worker ideally, and then the airship. We have that ballista on the way. A little bit of a mistake on the front end here from WeirdRat. He was a little bit busy defending at home. So those wolves were a little bit sacrificed into the tower, but not the end of the world, especially when he has still that fourth base. I do like this house, just denying the what's it called, the ability to catadrop from this high ground over here. And so far, yes, there's a little bit of mislining time, but no workers have gone down, which is the big thing. So good hold. And yeah, just textbook, very, very nice. This third base also hasn't been able to complete because he just doesn't have the army to actually take that base successfully. So yeah, Highdra is being stuck on 2 bases, whereas WeirdRat is on 4. Maybe he's not winning from all 4 at the moment, but still looking very, very good. And this catapult drop is not getting anything done. So far, this catapult drop, I think, has killed maybe a wolf or 2, and that's pretty much it, right? Generally, when you go for this sort of catapult drop, you want to be looking for a little bit more. Highdra is also going to see this 4th base, and that's got to be a sinking feeling if you're Highdra. Doesn't need a Q fire onto the mineral line instead of, yeah, there we go, Q fire activated. So far, yeah, 0 kills on it, but they are going to get the first kills over here, it looks like. Nope, still 0. And that's a little bit unfortunate for sure. WeirdRat. Yeah, that was a little slow from WeirdRat. I feel like Highdra could have definitely gotten a bit more damage, or if he had target fired a little bit better. I think he missed, I want to say, 2 rounds of shots, so definitely a mistake. WeirdRat going to do a bit of a split here. Going to transfer his workers over, or at least exchange them. We have a bit of a second counter, a catadrop on the way, but that looks like it's not going to do enough. We have a nice wolf run by. These workers forced to fight. You don't want to be doing that if you're Highdra, especially because your 3rd base isn't quite up yet. And this is a very nice pickoff for WeirdRat here. Excuse me. We did also see that what's this called? Snake Charmer for WeirdRat, so snakes are going to be on the potential. You can also get that for the wolf speed, the wolf sprint upgrade, but not going to be what's happening at the moment. A preemptive pull out of WeirdRat, very nice. Where is his ballista? Okay, it's on the other side of the map. I guess WeirdRat is skimping just a little bit, only going for a single ballista, but I guess he's feeling confident in his anti-catadrop micro, so I don't mind that at all, really. Finally, Highdra is able to establish the 3rd base, and he's gone up to 5 racks as well as a workshop. So he's going to be looking to do a 3-base push, 3-base all-in, and hopefully kill WeirdRat. But WeirdRat has been ahead this entire time. One thing I do dislike that WeirdRat has forgotten is those upgrades. There are no upgrades on the way. There's not an animal testing lab in sight. He hasn't also gone for any sort of other tech, such as dragons or werewolves. He's been on wolf. He's adding on a little bit of snake, which is, it's something. It is definitely something, but I feel like it could be a little bit different. Yeah, okay, so he's going to throw down a workshop, 2 of them, in fact, so to deal with the upcoming push, it seems like. WeirdRat is going to see this catadrop. Hydra's also only attacking with 1, or he was only attacking with 1 of them, which is a mistake for sure. Highdra looking to find a little bit more damage in the main base at the same time, and also this army for Highdra going to come in and try to take this position, and this is a pretty scary push onto the 4th base. You don't want to be chasing these wolves, though. Yep, Highdra needs to get this position, needs to wall it off, in my opinion. If he had, with this, I feel like if he walls this off, he's going to get into a very nice position. At the same time, we have looks like a cattle drop in the natural base. A little bit of micro going on over here as well. This unfortunately did not complete, and the worker has died, so that tower is not going to be able to be completed. Highdra did drop into the main or the natural, but is not in range of those workers. It's out of range in the sense that he is actually a little bit too close. This is looking like a pretty scary army. We do have a drop on top of this with that airship, which is a very cute move. He's going to get on top of the catapults, and once those catapults are done, there's no more splash damage. Also, this ballista taking a little bit of hits and chasing that airship away. At the same time, this catapult drop is going to try to come back in and try to do a little bit more damage. He does need to focus fire on those workers, in my opinion. Yep, there we go. Good pull out of Highdra here, and the rest of WeirdRat army that was in the main base is coming to try to clean this up. And I feel like with those reinforcements, WeirdRat is going to barely have enough. Highdra did send another worker to try to complete this watchtower, but unfortunately was not able to do so. Highdra not kiting back as well as he would have liked, I feel like. Is going to try to do that right now. At the same time, it looks like this catapult drop, it was forced away. The catapult looks like has gone down, and I think WeirdRat is going to hold. And this was a little bit more dicey than it really could have been, I think. It was a little bit more dicey for WeirdRat than it really should have. He didn't see the move out. I mean, he saw it like here, which is a little bit late, and his army wasn't quite in the correct position. If Highdra was able to successfully wall this side off, like building here, building here, building here, then that would have been more or less the end of this base, and you know, we would have had a game on our hands. But I feel like by now it's a little bit too much wolf snake for WeirdRat here. He's going to have more than enough to push this back. He's got catapults on the way. He's got double upgrades on the way as well. And I think this parade push out of Highdra is not going to be able to find a victory in this game. Yeah, I think this could have definitely gone the way of Highdra, though. It was, yes, the early game wasn't ideal, but he did have a very nice opportunity when he finally did make it over there. But yeah. Not ideal. These snakes are going to be trapped, though. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I feel like maybe WeirdRat could have taken a fifth base maybe a little bit earlier. These wolves going to check this fourth base location as well, so he does know that it is still a 3-base player. And with these catapults on the high ground, you're not going to be able to push into that with just archers. I think this just might be it. He's almost lined out from his main base as Highdra, and he desperately needs another base, or he needs to win straight up, and I don't think either of those are going to happen anytime soon. We do have that armory on the way for the plus range on the archers, but I don't know if that's going to come into play in this game. A little bit of a run by with these wolves, very nice. This wolf snake army is going to try to push into these archers. You want a couple of soldiers here to really tank all this damage, but so far, no, none of them right now. A little bit of good micro out of Highdra here. Very nice. Also, these catapults were out of position, so that was about as good of a push that good of an attack that Highdra could have really gotten. Is he going to try to come into this army? He's splitting very, yeah, it looks like he is going to try to do so. This is going to be really difficult. He needs to micro it absolutely pristinely. So far, the splits have been okay. It's been mitigating a ton of damage, but I feel like there's just a little bit too much from WeirdRat here. Yeah, I think, unfortunately, that is not going to be enough. And I think, yeah, there's just not enough here for Highdra to actually fully push into this. WeirdRat is basically maxed. Hydra's only at 80 supply, and if you're going for the numbers, it's not looking good. Big splash damage right here at the end as well. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. WeirdRat with a spectacular early game, shutting down the cattle drops once again, and taking a win off of that eventually. Very nice. This +2 upgrades almost complete. The +1 is complete. GG well played is called, and that does mean WeirdRat is gonna go up in this game, or in this series, 2-0. Let's head into the final map of the series. Or it could be the final map. It might not be. We'll have to find out. It's going to be on Cursed Temple. And spawning in the bottom left-hand side of the map, up 2-0. The favorite, it's WeirdRat. And spawning in the bottom right-hand side of the map, Down 0-2. Can he come up with a little bit of something else to take this back and make this series a little bit more enjoyable? It's going to be Highdra. All right, so I feel like Highdra needs to do something other than this cata drop. Like, he's tried it in both games so far, and it has not worked in either of them. WeirdRat being a little bit too on top of his multitasking, his map awareness, and his defense. Yeah, the cata drops have not been it in this series. I guess, there's still that potential that WeirdRat is not paying attention in a moment, and you do get a huge pick-off, but I don't know. I feel like after the first 2 times, you kind of say, it's not going to work. We'll have to try something else. But I don't know if Highdra believes the same thing. We'll have to find out. We have a house, looks like an 8 house out of WeirdRat. Highdra, is going to put a house over here. So this is a very interesting location. Number 1, it gives you a little bit of scouting information. It's very nice. And number 2, because it is a 1 hex wall on both sides, that does mean it's going to be only on one side. It does mean that mech units, or some of the larger units such as werewolves, Gatling guns, ballista, catapults, will not be able to fit. So let's say if your opponent is trying to do a mech push, and he, for some reason, right-clicks his army over here, like from this side. Then they will derp around. They'll try to go all the way around, and that might be something. Or actually, is that the case? Yeah, I'm pretty sure that is the case. Because I know that's 100% the case when the wall is fully walled. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. But yeah, this is just something that is very interesting. It's also a very nice choke point for, let's say if your opponent is doing a 2-den and you have like a soldier here or something. It's a very nice hold position, choke position. And yeah, Highdra is going to go for an archer opening instead of a raider opening. Is going to try to mix things up a little bit. I don't mind that at all. We'll see if this raider opening is going to find some damage from WeirdRat's side of things, though. He did go for that earlier racks, by the way, and I think he's going to have a small window where he has 1 raider versus 1 archer. It's going to be a very small one. We'll see if he's able to capitalize on that. And I feel like, especially because this map is a small rush distance, I feel like this is definitely an opportunity for things to snowball out of control if Highdra is not on top of his micro. Number 1, you do need to keep this archer alive. But at the same time, if you try to retreat all the way back into your main base, that does mean that second archer is going to be sniped down. And actually, I was incorrect. This second archer is going to spawn before that raider arrives. So excuse me for that. We do have a castle on the way for both sides. We're only going to go for a single raider, which is very interesting. You do get that scouting with that first raider, but you're not going to be too far behind. So a little bit of a way to gain back that economic situation after going for a little bit of a poor economic build in the early game. So I don't mind it at all. It does leave you a little bit vulnerable for some sort of builds where the opponent just comes in and attacks you, but I don't mind it at all, especially because the scouting is actually really fast with this map. So WeirdRat does get the scout on that natural base timing, does poke a little bit at that worker and is forced to flash away, and we'll go on from here. We'll see how this pans out. We do have a second Rax on the way for Highdra, so it looks like Highdra is not looking to go for that cata drop. I think that is a wise decision. Does need to start transferring over those workers a little bit slow on that, so that's going to be a little bit unfortunate. He's going to that right now. We're also going for a soldier. That is very interesting. I don't quite know. Okay, maybe he's going to go for a drop of his own. Gonna say, okay, you've been trying to drop me. You've been trying to do some CAD drops. I'm gonna go for a bit of a Rax drop into your main. Is perhaps what he is thinking, what he is saying. We have a third Rax on the way for Highdra, so it's gonna be a 2-base all in. It looks like, and it's crucial that this raider is able to scout this. However, this is a very difficult map to scout on, in my opinion, especially if you just leave your units over here. If you wall this off completely, even. which Highdra does have the potential to do, and also because WeirdRat only went for that single raider. Oh, but this is definitely a mistake out of Highdra. Yeah, a little bit of a miss. Unit micro, a little bit of bad army positioning means that this raider is going to come in and scout absolutely everything. Is going to get a worker as well. Hops into the main, and I think this is an excellent scout. This is, yeah, definitely a mistake letting that raider slip by. WeirdRat sees the 3 racks. He knows what's up. What is his response going to be? If I were me, I'd probably cancel that, throw down a workshop, throw down a tower, stuff like that. I don't know if he's actually going to do that. He looks like he's keeping the advanced workshop. That's definitely risky. He's going to throw a watchtower at the front. Okay, I don't mind that too bad. This is going to slow down that push significantly, but I would like to see additional production facility out of WeirdRat, preferably a workshop. No, he's going to go for a racks instead. So I think that's a little bit risky. I don't think that's ideal in my opinion, but maybe WeirdRat is saying, I don't think I have enough time for the workshop. The workshop obviously, or for those who don't know, it does take a little bit longer to produce than the racks. So okay, WeirdRat is looking to do, looks like a soldier drop. I don't know if this is going to be going across the map. If it is, it's going to be a very bad idea. Yeah, because this push has arrived on the doorstep. This tower is going to finish. Workers are being pulled. I think WeirdRat needs to pull this as well. I don't know about this decision to go across the map. I would much rather prefer he just comes in from the back. He's going to try to come around from the back now. I feel like he could have done that a little bit early, and this would have been a little bit better, but the tower is adding in so much DPS. Here comes a soldier drop from the backside. He's going to get a huge surround on this. Very, very nice. Even dropping and picking up those soldiers again to get a bigger surround, and I think this is going to be a very nice hold out of WeirdRat. That worker or that raider scout was absolutely crucial here. Had he not gotten that scout, this game could have potentially been looking in the favor of Highdra, but that scout was insane. That was definitely a mistake out of Highdra, not quite getting that, getting the raider. This Raiders in particular, and that does mean that WeirdRat was more than prepared. I think it was a little bit dicey when he decided not to cancel the advanced workshop, but he's proving me wrong here with a very nice hold. He does want to repair that watchtower up, in my opinion. I don't know. Yeah, okay, he's going to do that right now. A third rack's on the way. One thing to note is that Highdra actually did go for... Oh, where's all his workers coming? Is he pulling all the workers? Oh, he stopped building the workers. I see. Okay, if you have a bit of a counter drop coming in, Highdra is going to see that and it's going to pull the workers, and that probably is going to trigger him to pull the trigger on the other side of the map. This drop coming right back in and absolutely shredding these workers. Highdra needs to go. He needs to go right now because he can't be sustaining this amount of damage and not doing the same amount on the other side of the map. He's still waiting. What is he waiting for? He's waiting for the reinforcements. He's waiting for these workers. He's going to pull all the workers to go for a, just a 2 base all in. Pull all the workers. This is a bit by bit, perhaps. WeirdRat preemptively... Oh, this is... Oh, yeah, this is amazing. He's pulling all the workers from the main base into the natural, so he's going to be ready with a worker pull as well. Going to even throw down a house at the front to reduce that worker or that surface area. This is going to be shut down by Highdra with all these archers. That is very nice. We're forced to cancel. He's also going to be forced to pull all these workers. We'll see how the micro is from both sides. WeirdRat, this is going to come down to basically micro. I think WeirdRat does have a little bit too much, especially with the airship coming in from the back. But we'll see. The micro is going on both sides, of course. So these workers need to get in front, and they need to hold position to prevent the opposing workers from coming in. This is going to be a very tough decision, or a very tough fight for both players. Good hold position out of WeirdRat here. You can see that Hydra's archers are derping out just a little bit, and I feel like he barely is going to have enough. A little bit of a mistake from these soldiers, I feel like. They're going to try to shut down any reinforcement, but there are no reinforcements. Highdra is absolutely all in. No workers, nothing. And I think WeirdRat has this in the bag. He has one worker in production. He has 6 workers to 0, and Highdra just does not have enough to deal with this. Very cute attempt. I think this is exactly what I would have attempted if I was in Hydra's shoes. The only issue was that he was not so successful in denying that scouting information. Good target fire out of both players here, targeting down all the units here, but the soldier drop coming in from the backside. And GG, well played. Good night. Good luck. Highdra, unfortunately, is going to be eliminated, and that does mean that if we go back to there we go. That does mean WeirdRat is going to get the 3-0 victory against Highdra, is going to head into the finals where he awaits the winner between Avocado Lord and Matthew N. Very dominant performance out of WeirdRat. Highdra did play as well as he could have, I think. Maybe he could have... He really had opportunities in Game 2 and 3, I feel like. Game 2, when he initially went across the map with that push, I think if he had brought some more workers, if he had SimCity that a little bit better set up on that fourth space of WeirdRat, I think he could have had a better opportunity. Yes, the early game was really good for WeirdRat in that game, but I do think he had a chance there. And in this game, if he had denied that scout, I think WeirdRat would have been caught off guard, and he would have been just straight up dying. But unfortunately, for Highdra, WeirdRat was able to get the scout. And yeah, that was a really exciting series. I hope you all enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next one.